The Journey to the West. Chapter 6. Guan Ying, attending the banquet, inquires into the cause. The little sage, exerting his power, subdues the great sage. For the moment, we shall not tell you about the siege of the gods or the great sage at rest. We speak instead of the great, compassionate deliverer, the efficacious Bodhisattva Guan Yin from the Potalaka mountain of the South Sea. Invited by the Lady Queen Mother to attend the grand festival of immortal peaches, she arrived at the treasure chamber of the Jasper Pool with a senior disciple, Hui Yan. There they found the whole place desolate and the banquet tables in utter disarray. Although several members of the heavenly pantheon were present, none was seated. Instead, they were all engaged in vigorous exchanges and discussions. After the Bodhisattva had greeted the various deities, they told her what had occurred. "Since there will be no festival," said the Bodhisattva, "nor any raising of cups, all of you might as well come with this humble cleric to see the Jade Emperor." The gods followed her gladly, and they went to the entrance of the Hall of Perfect Light. There the Bodhisattva was met by the 4 celestial masters and the Immortal of Naked Feet, who recounted how the celestial soldiers, ordered by an enraged Jade Emperor to capture the monster, had not yet returned. The Bodhisattva said, "I would like to have an audience with the Jade Emperor. May I trouble one of you to announce my arrival?" The heavenly preceptor Qiu Hongji went at once into the treasure hall of divine mists and, having made his report, invited Guan Yin to enter. Lao Tzu then took the upper seat with the emperor, while the Lady Queen Mother was in attendance behind the throne. The Bodhisattva led the crowd inside. After paying homage to the Jade Emperor, they also saluted Lao Tzu and the Queen Mother. When each of them was seated, she asked, "How is the grand festival of immortal peaches?" "Every year, when the festival has been given," said the Jade Emperor, "we have thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. This year it has been completely ruined by a baneful monkey, leaving us with nothing but an invitation to disappointment." "Where did this baneful monkey come from?" asked the Bodhisattva. "He was born of a stone egg on top of the flower fruit mountain of the Aeolai country of the East Purvavidaya continent," said the Jade Emperor. "At the moment of his birth, 2 beams of golden light flashed immediately from his eyes, reaching as far as the palace of the pole star. We did not think much of that, but he later became a monster, subduing the dragon and taming the tiger, as well as eradicating his name from the register of death. When the Dragon Kings and the Kings of the Underworld brought the matter to our attention, we wanted to capture him. The Star of Long Life, however, observed that all the beings of the 3 regions that possessed the 9 apertures could attain immortality. We therefore decided to educate and nurture the talented monkey and summoned him to the region above. He was appointed to the post of Bimawen at the Imperial Stables, but, taking offense at the lowliness of his position, he left heaven in rebellion. We then sent Devaraja Li and Prince Naja to ask for his submission by proclaiming a decree of pacification. He was brought again to the region above and was appointed the Great Sage equal to heaven, a rank without compensation. Since he had nothing to do but to wander east and west, we feared that he might cause further trouble, so he was asked to look after the Garden of Immortal Peaches. But he broke the law and ate all the large peaches from the oldest trees. By then, the banquet was about to be given. As a person without salary, he was, of course, not invited. Nonetheless, he plotted to deceive the immortal of naked feet and managed to sneak into the banquet by assuming the immortal's appearance. He finished off all the divine wine and food, after which he also stole Lao Tzu's elixir and took away a considerable quantity of imperial wine for the enjoyment of his mountain monkeys. Our mind has been sorely vexed by this, and we therefore sent 100,000 celestial soldiers with cosmic nets to capture him. We haven't yet received today's report on how the battle is faring. When the Bodhisattva heard this, she said to disciple Hui Yan, "You must leave heaven at once. Go down to the Flower Fruit Mountain and inquire into the military situation. If the enemy is engaged, you can lend your assistance. In any event, you must bring back a factual report." The disciple Hui Yan straightened out his attire and mounted a cloud to leave the palace, an iron rod in his hand. When he arrived at the mountain, he found layers of cosmic net drawn tightly and sentries at every gate holding bells and shouting passwords. The encirclement of the mountain was indeed watertight. Hui Yan stood still and called out, "Heavenly Sentinels, may I trouble you to announce my arrival? I am Prince Moksha, second son of Devaraja Li, and I am also Hui Yan, senior disciple of Wan Jin of the South Sea. I have come to inquire about the military situation." The divine soldiers of the 5 mountains at once reported this beyond the gate. The constellations Aquarius, Pleiades, Hydra, and Scorpio then conveyed the message to the central tent. Devaraja Li issued a directorial flag which ordered the cosmic nets to be opened and entrance permitted for the visitor. Day was just dawning in the east as Hui Yan followed the flag inside and prostrated himself before the 4 great Devarajas and Devaraja Li. After he had finished his greetings, Devaraja Li said, "My child, where have you come from?" "Your untutored son," said Hui Yan, "accompanied the Bodhisattva to attend the Festival of Immortal Peaches. Seeing that the festival was desolate and the Jasper Pool laid waste, the Bodhisattva led the various deities and your untutored son to have an audience with the Jade Emperor. The Jade Emperor spoke at length about Father and King's expedition to the region below to subdue the baneful monkey. Since no report has returned for a whole day, and neither victory nor defeat has been ascertained, the Bodhisattva ordered your untutored son to come here to find out how things stand." "We came here yesterday to set up the encampment," said Devaraja Li, "and the 9 luminaries were sent to provoke battle. But this fellow made a grand display of his magical powers, and the 9 luminaries all returned defeated. After that, I led the troops personally to confront him, and the fellow also brought his forces into formation. Our 100,000 celestial soldiers fought with him until evening, when he retreated from the battle by using the magic of body division. When we recalled the troops and made our investigation, we found that we had captured some wolves, crawling creatures, tigers, leopards, and the like. But we did not even catch half a monkey monster. And today we have not yet gone into battle." As he was saying all this, someone came from the gate of the camp to report. "That great sage leading his band of monkey monsters is shouting for battle outside." The 4 Devarajas, Devaraja Li, and the prince at once made plans to bring out the troops, when Moksha said, "Father King, your untutored son was told by the Bodhisattva to come down here to acquire information. She also told me to give you assistance should there be actual combat. Though I'm not very talented, I volunteer to go out now and see what kind of great sage this is." "Child, said the Devaraja. "Since you have studied with the Bodhisattva for several years, you must, I suppose, have some powers. But do be careful." "Dear Prince," grasping the iron rod with both hands, he tightened up his embroidered garment and leapt out of the gate. "Who is the great sage equal to heaven?" he cried. Holding high as a compliant rod, the great sage answered, "None other than Old Monkey here. Who are you to dare to question me?" "I am Moxa, the second prince of Devaraja Li," said Moxa. "At present, I am also the disciple of Bodhisattva Guanyin, a defender of the faith before her treasure throne. And my religious name is Wei Yan." "Why have you left your religious training at South Sea and come here to see me?" said the great sage. "I was sent by my master to inquire about the military situation," said Moxa. "Seeing what a nuisance you have made of yourself, I have come specifically to capture you." "You dare to talk so big?" said the great sage. "But don't run away. Have a taste of Old Monkey's rod." Moxa was not all frightened and met his opponent squarely with his own iron rod. The two of them stood before the gate of the camp at mid-mountain, and what a magnificent battle they fought. Though one rod is pitted against another, the iron's quite different. Though this weapon couples with the other, the persons are not the same. This one's called the Great Sage, a wayward primordial god. The other is Guanyin's disciple, a true hero and proud. The all-iron rod has been pounded 1,000 times. Made by 6 gods of darkness and 6 gods of light. The compliant rod sets the depth of heaven's river, a thing divine ruling the oceans with magic might. The two of them in meeting have found their match. Back and forth they battle in endless rounds. From this one the rod of stealthy hands, savage and fierce, around the waist stabs and jabs swiftly as the wind. From the other the rod doubling as a spear, driving and relentless, let up not a moment its parrying left and right. On this side the banners flare and flutter, on the other the war drums roll and rattle. 10,000 celestial fighters circle round and round. The monkey monsters of a whole cave stand in rows and rows. Weird fog and dark clouds spread throughout the earth. The fume and smoke of battle reach even heaven's home. Yesterday's battle was something to behold. Still more violent is the contest today. Envy the truly able Monkey King. Moksha's beaten. He is fleeing for life. Our great sage battled Wei Yan for 50 or 60 rounds, until the prince's arms and shoulders were sore and numb, and he could fight no longer. After one final, futile swing with his weapon, he fled in defeat. The great sage then gathered together his monkey troops and stationed them securely outside the entrance of the cave. At the camp of the Devaraja, the celestial soldiers could be seen receiving the prince and making way for him to enter the gate. Panting and puffing, he ran in and gasped out to the 4 Devarajas, pagoda-bearer Li and Naja, "That great sage! What an ace! Great indeed is his magical power! Your son cannot overcome him, and has returned defeated." Shocked by this sight, Devaraja Li at once wrote a memorial to the throne to request further assistance. The Demon King Mahabali and Prince Moksha were sent to heaven to present the document. Not daring to linger, the two of them crashed out of the cosmic nets and mounted the holy mist and hallowed cloud. In a moment, they reached the Hall of Perfect Light and met the 4 celestial masters, who led them into the treasure hall of divine mists to present their memorial. Hui Yan also saluted the Bodhisattva, who asked him, "What have you found out about the situation?" "When I reached the Flower Fruit Mountain by your order," said Hui Yan, "I opened the cosmic nets by my call. Seeing my father, I told him of my master's intentions in sending me. Father King said, 'We fought a battle yesterday with the Monkey King, but managed to take from him only tigers, leopards, lions, elephants, and the like. We did not catch a single one of his monkey monsters.' As we were talking, he again demanded battle. Your disciple used the iron rod to fight him for 50 or 60 rounds, but I could not prevail against him, and returned to the camp defeated. Thus, Father had sent the Demon King Mahabali and your pupil to come here for help." The Bodhisattva bowed her head and pondered. We now tell you about the Jade Emperor, who opened a memorial and found a message asking for assistance. "This is rather absurd," he said, laughing. "Is his monkey monster such a wizard that not even 100,000 soldiers from heaven can vanquish him? Devourer DALL-E is again asking for help. What division of divine warriors can we send to assist him?" Hardly had he finished speaking when Guan Yin folded her hands and said to him, "Your Majesty, let not your mind be troubled. This humble cleric will recommend a god who can capture the monkey." "Which one would you recommend?" said the Jade Emperor. "Your Majesty's nephew," said the Bodhisattva. "The immortal master of illustrious sagacity, Erlang, who is living at the mouth of the River of Libations in the Guan Prefecture, and enjoying the incense and oblations offered to him from the region below. In former days, he himself slew 6 monsters. Under his command are the Brothers of Plum Mountain and 1,200 plant-headed deities, all possessing great magical powers. However, he will agree only to special assignments and will not obey any general summons. Your Majesty may want to send an edict transferring his troops to the scene of the battle and requesting his assistance. Our monster will surely be captured." When the Jade Emperor heard this, he immediately issued such an edict and ordered the Demon King Mahabali to present it. Having received the edict, the Demon King mounted a cloud and went straight to the mouth of the River of Libations. It took him less than half an hour to reach a temple of the Immortal Master. Immediately, the demon magistrates guarding the doors made this report inside. "There is a messenger from heaven outside who has arrived with an edict in his hand." Erlang and his brothers came out to receive the edict, which was read before burning incense. The edict said, "The great sage equal to heaven, a monstrous monkey from the Flower Fruit Mountain, is in revolt. At the palace he stole peaches, wine and elixir, and disrupted the grand festival of immortal peaches. 100,000 heavenly soldiers with 18 sets of cosmic nets were dispatched to surround the mountain and capture him, but victory has not yet been secured. We therefore make this special request of our worthy nephew and his sworn brothers to go to the Flower Fruit Mountain and assist in destroying this monster. Following your success will be lofty elevation and abundant reward." In great delight, the Immortal Master said, "Let the messengers of heaven go back. I will go at once to offer my assistance with drawn sword." The Demon King went back to report, but we shall speak no further of that. This Immortal Master called together the 6 brothers of Plum Mountain. They were Kang, Zhang, Yao, and Li, the 4 Grand Marshals, and Guo Shen and Ji Jian, the 2 generals. As they congregated before the court, he said to them, "The Jade Emperor just now sent us to Flowerfruit Mountain to capture a monstrous monkey. Let's get going." Delighted and willing, the brothers at once called out to divine soldiers under their command. With falcons mounted and dogs on leashes, with arrows ready and bows drawn, they left in a violent magic wind and crossed in a moment the great eastern ocean. As they landed on the Flowerfruit Mountain, they saw their way blocked by dense layers of cosmic nets. "Divine commanders guarding the cosmic nets, hear us," they shouted. "We are specially assigned by the Jade Emperor to capture the monstrous monkey. Open the gate of your camp quickly and let us through." The various deities conveyed the message to the inside, level by level. The 4 Devarajas and Devaraja Li then came out to the gate of the camp to receive them. After they had exchanged greetings, there were questions about the military situation, and the Devaraja gave them a thorough briefing. "Now that I, the little sage, have come," said the Immortal Master, laughing, "he will have to engage in a contest of transformation with his adversary. You gentlemen make sure that the cosmic nets are tightly drawn on all sides, but leave the top uncovered. Let me try my hand in this contest. If I lose, you gentlemen need not come to my assistance, for my own brothers will be there to support me. If I win, you gentlemen will not be needed in tying him up either. My own brothers will take care of that. All I need is the pagoda bearer Devaraja to stand in midair with his imp-reflecting mirror. If the monster should be defeated, I fear that he may try to flee to a distant locality. Make sure that his image is clearly reflected in the mirror so that we don't lose him." The Devarajas set themselves up in the 4 directions, while the heavenly soldiers all lined up according to their planned formations. With himself as the 7th brother, the Immortal Master led the 4 Grand Marshals and the 2 Generals out of the camp to provoke battle. The other warriors were ordered to defend their encampment with vigilance, and the plant-headed deities were ordered to have the falcons and dogs ready for battle. The Immortal Master went to the front of the Water Curtain Cave, where he saw a troop of monkeys neatly positioned in an array that resembled a coiled dragon. At the center of the array was the banner bearing the words, "The Great Sage equal to Heaven." "That audacious monster," said the Immortal Master. "How dare he assume the rank equal to Heaven?" "There is no time for praise or blame," said the 6 brothers of Plum Mountain. "Let's challenge him at once." When the little monkeys in front of the camp saw the Immortal Master, they ran quickly to make their report. Seizing his golden-hooped rod, straightening out his golden cuirass, slipping on his cloud-treading shoes, and pressing down his red-gold cap, the Monkey King leapt out of the camp. He opened his eyes wide to stare at the Immortal Master, whose features were remarkably refined and whose attire was most elegant. Truly, he was a man of features most comely and most noble mien, with shoulder-reaching ears and shining eyes. His head wore the 3 Mountains Phoenix cap. His body donned a pale yellow goose-down robe. Gold-threaded boots matched coiling dragon socks. 8 flower-like emblems his jade belt adorned. From his waist hung the crescent-pillared bow. His hands held a lance of 3 points and 2 blades. Once he cleaved Peach Mountain to save his mother. His one pellet struck a tall tree's 2 phoenixes. Slaying 8 fiends flung far his fame, as bond brother midst Plum Mountain's 7 saints. His lofty mind scorned being high heaven's kin. His pride led him to dwell near Libation's stream. From Chi City, there's the kind heroic sage. Of boundless epiphanies, he's named Erlang. When the great sage saw him, he lifted high his golden-hooped rod, with gales of laughter, and called out, "What little warrior are you, and where do you come from, that you dare present yourself here to provoke battle?" "You must have eyes, but no pupils," shouted the immortal master, "if you don't recognize me. I am the maternal nephew of the Jade Emperor, Erlang, the king of illustrious grace and spirit by imperial appointment. I have received my orders from above to arrest you, the rebellious Bimawan ape. Don't you know that your time has come?" "I remember," said the great sage, "that the sister of the Jade Emperor some years ago became enamored of the region below. She married a man by the name of Yang and had a son by him. Are you that boy who was reputed to have cleaved open the Peach Mountain with his axe? I would like to rebuke you roundly, but I have no grudge against you. I can hit you with this rod of mine too, but I'd like to spare your life. A little boy like you, why don't you hurry back and ask your 4 great Devarajas to come out?" When the immortal master heard this, he grew very angry and shouted, "Reckless ape! Don't you dare to be so insolent! Take a sample of my blade!" Swerving to dodge the blow, the great sage quickly raised his golden-hooped rod to engage this opponent. What a fine fight there was between the two of them. Erlang, the god of illustrious kindness, and the great sage equal to heaven. This one, haughty and proud to defy the handsome Monkey King. That one, not knowing his man, would crush all stalwart foes. Suddenly these two met, and both desired a match. They had never known which was the better man. Today they'd learn who's strong and who's weak. The iron rod seemed a flying dragon, and the lance divine a dancing phoenix. Left and right they struck, attacking both front and back. The Plum Mountain's 6 brothers' awesome presence filled one side, while the 4 generals like Ma and Liu took command on the other. All worked as one to wave flags and roll drums. All helped to fight by cheers while beating the gong. 2 sharp weapons sought a chance to hurt, but thrusts and parries did not slack one whit. The golden-hooped rod, wonder of the sea, could change and fly to snare a victory. A little lag and your life is over. A tiny error and your luck runs out. The immortal master fought the great sage for more than 300 rounds, but the result still could not be determined. The immortal master therefore summoned all his magical powers. With a shake, he made his body 100,000 feet tall. Holding with both hands the divine lance of 3 points and 2 blades, like the peaks that cap the Hua mountain, this green-faced, saber-toothed figure with scarlet hair aimed a violent blow at the head of the great sage. But the great sage also exerted his magical power and changed himself into a figure having the features and height of Erlang. He wielded a compliant golden-hooped rod that resembled the heaven-supporting pillar on top of Mount Kunlun to oppose the god Erlang. This vision so terrified the marshals Ma and Liu that they could no longer wave the flags, and so appalled the generals Beng and Ba that they could use neither scimitar nor sword. On the side of Erlang, the brothers Kang, Zhang, Yao, Li, Guasheng and Zhijian gave the order to the plant-headed deities to let loose the falcons and dogs and to advance upon those monkeys in front of the water curtain cave with mounted arrows and drawn bows. The charge, alas, dispersed the 4 mighty commanders of monkey imps, and captured 2 or 3 thousand numinous fiends. Those monkeys dropped their spears and abandoned their armor, forsook their swords and threw away their lances. They scattered in all directions, running, screaming, scuttling up the mountain or scrambling back to the cave. It was as if a cat at night had stolen upon resting birds. They darted up as stars to fill the sky. The brothers thus gained a complete victory, of which we shall speak no further. Now we were telling you about the immortal master and the great sage who had changed themselves into forms which imitated heaven and earth. As they were doing battle, the great sage suddenly perceived that the monkeys of his camp were put to rout, and his heart grew faint. He changed out of his magic form, turned around, and fled, dragging his rod behind him. When the immortal master saw that he was running away, he chased him with great strides, saying, "Where are you going? Surrender now and your life will be spared." The great sage did not stop to fight anymore, but ran as fast as he could. Near the cave's entrance, he ran right into Kang, Zhang, Yao, and Li, the 4 grand marshals, and Wu Cheng'en and Zijian, the 2 generals, who were at the head of an army blocking his way. "Lawless ape," they cried, "where do you think you're going?" Quivering all over, the great sage squeezed his golden-hooped rod back into an embroidery needle and hid it in his ear. With a shake of his body, he changed himself into a small sparrow and flew to perch on top of a tree. In great agitation, the 6 brothers searched all around but could not find him. "We've lost the monkey monster! We've lost the monkey monster!" they all cried. As they were all making that clamor, the immortal master arrived and asked, "Brothers, where did you lose him in the chase?" "We just had him boxed in here," said the gods, "but he simply vanished." Scanning the place with his phoenix eye wide open, Erlang at once discovered that the great sage had changed into a small sparrow perched on a tree. He changed out of his magic form and took off his pallid bow. With a shake of his body, he changed into a sparrow hawk with outstretched wings, ready to attack its prey. When the great sage saw this, he darted up with a flutter of his wings. Changing himself into a cormorant, he headed straight for the open sky. When Erlang saw this, he quickly shook his feathers and changed into a huge ocean crane, which could penetrate the clouds to strike with its bill. The great sage therefore lowered his direction, changed into a small fish and dove into a stream with a splash. Erlang rushed to the edge of the water, but could see no trace of him. He thought to himself, "This simian must have gone into the water and changed himself into a fish, a shrimp or the like. I'll change again to catch him." He duly changed into a fish hawk and skimmed downstream over the waves. After a while, the fish into which the great sage had changed was swimming along with the current. Suddenly, he saw a bird that looked like a green kite, though its feathers were not entirely green, like an egret, though it had small feathers, and like an old crane, though its feet were not red. "That must be the transformed Erlang waiting for me," he thought to himself. He swiftly turned around and swam away after releasing a few bubbles. When Erlang saw this, he said, "The fish that released the bubbles looks like a carp, though its tail is not red, like a perch, though there are no patterns on its scales, like a snakefish, though there are no stars on its head, like a bream, though its gills have no bristles, Why does it move away the moment it sees me? It must be the transformed monkey himself. He swooped toward the fish and snapped at it with his beak. The great sage shot out of the water and changed at once into a water snake. He swam toward the shore and wriggled into the grass along the bank. When Erlang saw that he had snapped in vain, and that a snake had darted away in the water with a splash, he knew that the great sage had changed again. Turning around quickly, he changed into a scarlet-topped grey crane, which extended its beak like sharp iron pincers to devour the snake. With a bounce, the snake changed again into a spotted bustard, standing by itself rather stupidly amid the water pepper along the bank. When Erlang saw that the monkey had changed into such a vulgar creature, for the spotted bustard is the basest and most promiscuous of birds, mating indiscriminately with phoenixes, hawks and crows, he refused to approach him. Changing back into his true form, he went and stretched his bow to the fullest. With one pellet, he sent the bird hurtling. The great sage took advantage of this opportunity nonetheless. Rolling down the mountain slope, he squatted there to change again. This time, into a little temple for the local spirit. His wide-open mouth became the entrance, his teeth the doors, his tongue the bodhisattva, and his eyes the windows. Only his tail he found to be troublesome, so he stuck it up in the back and changed it into a flagpole. The immortal master chased him down the slope, but instead of the bustard he had hit, he found only a little temple. He opened his phoenix eye quickly and looked at it carefully. Seeing the flagpole behind it, he laughed and said, "It's the ape! Now he's trying to deceive me again. I have seen plenty of temples before, but never one with a flagpole behind it. This must be another of that animal's tricks. Why should I let him lure me inside where he can bite me once I've entered? First, I'll smash the windows with my fist. Then, I'll kick down the doors." The great sage heard this and said in dismay, "How vicious! The doors are my teeth and the windows my eyes. What am I going to do with my eyes smashed and my teeth knocked out?" Leaping up like a tiger, he disappeared again into the air. The immortal master was looking all around for him when the 4 grand marshals and the 2 generals arrived together. "Elder brother," they said, "have you caught the great sage?" "A moment ago," said the immortal master, laughing, "the monkey changed into a temple to trick me. I was about to smash the windows and kick down the doors when he vanished out of sight with a leap. It's all very strange. Very strange." The brothers were astonished, but they could find no trace of him in any directions. "Brothers," said the immortal master, "keep a lookout down here. Let me go up there to find him." He swiftly mounted the clouds and rose up into the sky, where he saw DALL-E holding up high the imp-reflecting mirror and standing on top of the clouds with Naja. "DALL-E," said the immortal master, "have you seen the Monkey King?" "He hasn't come up here," said the DALL-E. "I have been watching him in the mirror." After telling them about the duel in magic and transformations and the captivity of the rest of the monkeys, the immortal master said, "He finally changed into a temple. Just as I was about to attack him, he got away." When DALL-E heard these words, he turned the imp-reflecting mirror all the way around once more and looked into it. "Immortal master," he said, roaring with laughter, "go quickly! Quickly! That monkey used his magic of body concealment to escape from the cordon, and he's now heading for the mouth of your river of libations. We now tell you about the great sage who had arrived at the mouth of River of Libations. With a shake of his body, he changed into the form of Holy Father Erlang. Lowering the direction of his cloud, he went straight into the temple, and the demon magistrates could not tell that he was not the real Erlang. Every one of them, in fact, kowtowed to receive him. He sat down in the middle and began to examine the various offerings. The 3 kinds of sacrificial meat brought by Li Hu, the votive offering of Zhang Long, the petition for a son by Zhao Jia, and the request for healing by Quan Bing. As he was looking at these, someone made a report. "Another Holy Father has arrived." The various demon magistrates went quickly to look, and were terror-stricken, one and all. The Immortal Master asked, "Did a so-called great sage equal to heaven come here?" "We haven't seen any great sage," said the demon magistrate. "But another Holy Father is in there, examining the offerings." The Immortal Master crashed through the door. Seeing him, the great sage revealed his true form and said, "There's no need for the little boy to strive anymore. Sun is now the name of this temple." The Immortal Master lifted his divine lance of 3 points and 2 blades and struck. But the Monkey King with agile body was quick to move out of the way. He whipped out that embroidery needle of his and with one wave caused it to take the thickness of a rice bowl. Rushing forward, he engaged Erlang face to face. Starting at the door of the temple, the 2 combatants fought all the way back to the Flower Fruit Mountain, treading on clouds and mists and shouting insults at each other. The 4 Devarajas and their followers were so startled by their appearance that they stood guard with even greater vigilance, while the Grand Marshals joined the Immortal Master to surround the handsome Monkey King. But we shall speak of them no more. We tell you instead about the Demon King Mahabali, who, having requested the Immortal Master and his 6 brothers to lead their troops to subdue the monster, returned to the region above to make his report. Conversing with the Bodhisattva Guan Yin, the Queen Mother, and the various divine officials in the Hall of Divine Mists, the Jade Emperor said, "If Erlang has already gone into battle, why has no further report come back today?" Folding her hands, Guan Yin said, "Permit this humble cleric to invite your majesty and the Patriarch of Tao to go outside the South Heaven Gate, so that you may find out personally how things are faring." "That's a good suggestion," said the Jade Emperor. He at once sent for his imperial carriage and went with the Patriarch, Guan Yin, the Queen Mother, and the various divine officials to the South Heaven Gate, where the cortege was met by celestial soldiers and guardians. They opened the gate and peered into the distance. There they saw cosmic nets on every side, manned by celestial soldiers. The Varaja Li and Naja in mid-air, holding high the imp-reflecting mirror, and the Immortal Master and his brothers encircling the great sage in the middle and fighting fiercely. The Bodhisattva opened her mouth and addressed Lao-Tzu. "What do you think of Erlang, whom this humble cleric recommended? He is certainly powerful enough to have the great sage surrounded, if not yet captured. I shall now help him to achieve his victory and make certain that the enemy will be taken prisoner." "What weapon will the Bodhisattva use?" asked Lao-Tzu, "and how will you assist him?" "I shall throw down my immaculate vase that I use for holding my willow sprig," said the Bodhisattva. "When it hits the monkey, at least it will knock him over, even if it doesn't kill him." Erlang the little sage will then be able to capture him. That vase of yours, said Lao-Tzu, is made of porcelain. It's all right if it hits him in the head, but if it crashed on the iron rod instead, won't it be shattered? You had better not raise your hands. Let me help him win. The Bodhisattva said, Do you have any weapon? I do indeed, said Lao-Tzu. He rolled up his sleeve and took down from his left arm an armlet, saying, This is a weapon made of red steel, brought into existence during my preparation of elixir and fully charged with liturgical powers. It can be made to transform at will. Indestructible by fire or water, it can entrap many things. It's called the diamond cutter or the diamond snare. The year when I crossed the Hangu Pass, I depended on it a great deal for the conversion of the barbarians, for it was practically my bodyguard night and day. Let me throw it down and hit him. After saying this, Lao-Tzu hurled the snare down from the heaven gate. It went tumbling down into the battlefield at the Flower Fruit Mountain and landed smack on the Monkey King's head. The Monkey King was engaged in a bitter struggle with the 7 sages and was completely unaware of this weapon, which had dropped from the sky and hit him on the crown of his head. No longer able to stand on his feet, he toppled over. He managed to scramble up again and was about to flee when the Holy Father Erlang's small hound dashed forward and bit him in the calf. He was pulled down for the second time and lay on the ground cursing. You brute! Why don't you go and do your master in instead of coming to bite old monkey? Rolling over quickly, he tried to get up, but the 7 sages all pounced on him and pinned him down. They bound him with ropes and punctured his breastbone with a knife, so that he could transform no further. Lao-Tzu retrieved his diamond snare and requested the Jade Emperor to return to the Hall of Divine Mists with Guan Yin, the Queen Mother, and the rest of the immortals. Down below, the 4 great Deva kings and the Varaja Li all retired their troops, broke camp, and went forward to congratulate Erlang, saying, "This is indeed a magnificent accomplishment by the little sage." "This has been a great blessing of the heavenly Devas," said the little sage, "and the proper exercise of their divine authority. What have I accomplished?" The brothers Kang, Zhang, Yao, and Li said, "Elder brother need have no further discussion. Let us take this fellow up to the Jade Emperor to see what will be done with him." "Worthy brothers," said the Immortal Master, "you may not have a personal audience with the Jade Emperor because you have not yet received any divine appointment. Let the Celestial Guardians take him into custody. I shall go with the Devaraja to the region above to make our report, while all of you make a thorough search of the mountain here. After you've cleaned it out, go back to the River of Libations. When I have our deeds recorded and received our rewards, I shall return to celebrate with you." The 4 Grand Marshals and the 2 Generals followed his bidding. The Immortal Master then mounted the clouds with the rest of the deities, and they began their triumphal journey back to heaven, singing songs of victory all the way. In a little while, they reached the outer court of the Hall of Perfect Light, and the heavenly preceptor went forward to memorialize to the throne, saying, "The 4 great Devarajas have captured the monstrous monkey, the great sage equal to heaven. They await the command of your majesty." The Jade Emperor then gave the order that the Demon King Mahabali and the Celestial Guardians take the prisoner to the monster execution block, where he was to be cut to small pieces. Alas, This is what happens to fraud and impudence now punished by the law. Heroics grand will fade in the briefest time. We do not know what will become of the Monkey King. Let's listen to the explanation in the next chapter.